Okay, here we are again. And then I got the message that just when I cut the live feed, it started to work. What a day. But hopefully now we can start with without issues. Let's see what will happen. I'm just updating the live stream feed information because we had to cut it on the fly and create a new one. And then I will see what's happening here. Let's see. Are you joining here? And then we will continue. I'll ask from Achini that did you get it? From my side, everything looks good. And then we will start when the first one will join, and then hopefully we have won all the technical issues and finally made it. And let's ask, how is the audio now? And I'll just keep talking that we can see. I can see from my side the live is listed, and then I'll share a link. This is a good way to drop people from the feed. Restart it twice. Every time when people have joined. Yeah, I need to figure out that it won't happen again. But it's not always predictable. Just live and learn and see what happens. But thing is that if the live cuts, we need to restart it. You can always find that live feed from the YouTube channel page, and there are the list of live streams. So there it will come automatically. And now I will share a screen again. And then when I get the comment from the audio quality, then I will just keep going and we will go through the material. Yes, we made it. Technical problems has been won. And let's go to today's topic and just blow through it because we have a lot of interesting information and people can watch it replayed from the channel a bit later. It will pop there. The ones who was dropped from the stream and then they didn't find a new one. But here it is. What we have today, this is a safety training after party. We are going to go through different topics we already handled during the safety training, but this is a bit deeper look because there I couldn't actually take a bit time and show how different sources would work and what you can do with them. And then we didn't actually have that much extra time. Can't speak anymore. I have been speaking the whole weekend, And let's have our first screen share. I will go here. I will adjust a bit our stats. I will zoom it bigger because that everybody can see it. And here comes the first slide. And uh, a lot of us asked during the training and actually before it was about the job market situation, and everybody has noticed that we got a crazy big hit, and it feels that there are no free vacancies available, that jobs has actually gone under the rock. That's not completely the thing what's happening, but let's see what is generally happening. Here we have a bit stats. I'll take it a bit higher. This is a new job vacancies during the month and during the previous year. They are comparing a bit. It's just how many new jobs are available or at least announced. A lot of them can be old positions when people quit, then they are looking for a new person. But this gives us a good rough picture that what's happening around. Uh, First of all, let's try to pick a couple of main points from the statistics, and let's pick a first the fields, because very often people are applying for many different fields, that if they, even when they have a higher education, they have a solid background in, for example, construction and management, or they have been even uh, practically running a hotels. I have met those people. I also met the people who have a very high degree in physics, and we are looking for cleaning jobs, basic construction jobs. Let's see what's happening in those fields, and also the groceries and service fields. Here we have first service and sales workers. We picked the one with the biggest drop. That we can see that in sales there's a crazy change. It has almost halved compared to previous year. This is the statistics from December, so they are quite fresh. And then we have a craft related trade workers and so on, halved. Same with the machine operators, it has halved. Elementary occupations has halved. And it means that in those fields, there's a bigger competition with people. Like, I'll take one example from a local animal food factory. They just expanded production. They got the 4 new places open there to operate the machines, and they got the 250 applications. So you can image how big is the competition to apply for a couple of open positions. And then also one example from Vantaa, there was a McDonald's which opened a very new one, and they got over 800 work applications. You can image what is the competition to get those couple of places. And what can we do if there's a big competition? Use your background, and let's see which fields has actually raised or stayed more or less same. First one here, we have managers. There is actually more demand for managers than previous year. That now a couple of people are applying for a property service field, and and they thought that, hey, let's apply for a cleaning because maybe a basic entry level work would give us the place. But when we went the applications through with them, we changed the type, our application type a bit. We still applied for the open uh, cleaner vacancies, but then same time we mentioned in a cover letter our background, because they had a solid background from hospitality business when they were managing shifts and teams and doing those quality checkings. We didn't put it there that, hey, we are ready for a management, but we told about the background that we have been the shift manager, we have done that kind of work, and we would be really happy to clean, but also to develop at the same time when we are working. So we kind of applied for two work at once. just because we can see that the manager demand is a bit higher. And then we also used their background because they had a solid skill in English. They spoke many other languages. They were from Sri Lanka. And we gave them an idea that, hey, we can also guide people if you want to hire English speaking people, that it would be a good key asset for your company. It would open your uh, possibilities a lot. And then just under the manager, we have a professionals. And this one I have been telling very often when we have private chats, meetings, or even during some live feeds, that when you have a good education, you have that experience, you need to use it and apply for that kind of works. And here again, people who have been in trainings knows that I have a lot of examples and I like to use them. And let's take, for example, building industry, construction works in Kotka area. It's a dead silent, practically, if you try to find a one from open sources and open applications. But what's happening under that silence? People are still working. We have a bit bigger projects. For example, a couple of new buildings are coming. Google is expanding uh, the data center in Hamina. There's a lot of work happening, and they need professional people that who has good skills. For example, in some specific construction works like drywalling, installing ventilation, and so on. And those are high in demand. And why I use this example very often, because uh, this is the biggest problem with many people when they're applying, that they are actually applying almost like using a shotgun. At the same time, we apply for grocery works, hotels, bars, construction works, and so on, and in the service field basically. But let's see what happens in the statist if we compare it to towards the statistics. That now we have the crazy big shotgun loaded with work applications, and then we shoot the shop to job markets. And where do we actually shoot? We have this fifth category, service and sales workers mostly, and we use all our effort in the field where's the biggest competition. So it will reduce our success just a bit. But if you have that you want to work in this field, a bit later I will tell how you can actually get yourself in front of the line when we talk about applying open uh, job applications. And then this one was our last Friday's topic. We had the same stats because I found them. I wanted to share them already then. And a lot of people are studying agricultural field. They have worked there. Like one nice guy from Sri Lanka has worked in a farm's really long history, had a solid background, and there the demand is around the same. And we tried to look for those countryside works and farms and so on. There the approach is a bit different. That was the Friday's topic. But just to notice that we have fields which has stayed around the same. But that's enough of of change in the open places. Now I will show something else, and this one we will just go through very quickly. It's not important. Just to show why the news are so dark. And I'll take it a bit higher. This is unemployed job seekers. That what's happening uh, in Finland at this moment. That we can see here 2024 that still we had a drop. It was a steady for a while, but then something happened just before December, and unemployment rate is shooting to sky high. And that also tells about the fact that the competition is really hard, and you need to put that leg of work. Friday, a live stream, we went very quickly through news because I try to look not the trends, but when I have a big pile of information, like in that case, we had a governmental news outlet with news related to job market. And then we just scrolled it down very quickly. We just wanted to see that if we can find something what jumps out from another news, something what is different. And we picked actually a couple of information that, first of all, one jumped out from Tampere area, where people in sales, uh, factory work, machine operation, ICT, electricians are in high demand, and companies have hard times to find that kind of workers. And that's there you get the good tip. What are you supposed to apply in those regions, or if you contact the companies, what kind of companies you can contact, you have a higher chance. And then we scrolled again down the news feed, and then the next news what popped out, it was about a lady who got fired from the work. And then that one also felt really desperate and dark when applying for works because there just wasn't any jobs available. But why did the news jump out? It was actually about putting that legwork and taking extra effort. And then he secured a job. That was the message of the news. Just supports the idea that pick a right field, don't blindly shoot around, and then you need to have a bit extra effort to get some results. And when people are applying, just need to remember that when you send a lot of applications, you put that effort for many companies, but you only need one success, and then everything will be easier from that point. But that's enough of unemployment rate. Let's see one another thing what I have paid attention and I have noticed, and it's about behavior. How do we move around in Finland? And then couple of words that why and how it happens here. And this is something what I have been looking and uh, wanting to tell people. And this is also something what my wife is kicking me a lot because I like to change a lot of things if something doesn't work and have a lot of action. And that's why in the beginning of the course I say that a course today is not a course, today is a live stream. Uh, that if you feel that nothing works out, that you have shot with your application shotgun around a lot but no results, instead of moving to different side of the Finland to try to fish in those waters, see what happens, have a small break, get things calm and cooled down, and then watch what's happening around that. Can you get some good tips? And let's see. Too bad. In a Google Meet, I have a tool I can draw on the screen. Here I don't have, but let's use my mouse. I need to figure out that is there a better way to arrange the presentation and feed that? Are there better tools? But this is what we have. We will work with it. And I have had good people living in this area. Like here is a one has been here, and then even in Ostrobotnia. In Finnish, it's Pohjanmaa. That's way easier for me. And they have looked work there, but no luck. They felt that situation is bad. And what did they do? They packed their stuff and moved this side of Finland. And what happened? We actually moved from the area where we had unemployed people compared to working people, 8, 8.9%, to area where it is 15.9%, that it's almost double. So with little action, we just created our situation even harder. We moved from the good area to area which is not performing that great. And also what happens when you move from west to east, then the language will change a bit. This is just my opinion, but what I have noticed that in a west side, people tend to speak more Swedish. We have actually actually cities, towns which speaks only Swedish, and then they move into area where we speak only Finnish, and actually even the Russia starts to be higher in amount. But for English speaking, at least in my opinion, the west side is better. People are more ready to speak English with you. And I have even met people who prefers to speak English instead of Finnish. That there is something in that area that they speak their main language is Swedish. They know Finnish, but if they have a chance, they avoid speaking Finnish. So that was just a picture of what's happening in Finland. Just to summarize what we went through, uh, first we checked uh, professions and how many open jobs there were compared to previous year. That one was comparing 2024 to 2023. And we noticed that uh, professions high in demand were managers. Then there was, I'll have a quick look here, professionals were high in demand. And then also agriculture stayed around the same. And then biggest hit was done in the sales field and service field. So that information we can use, that where we can apply, and actually where should we use our background, because many people have a good managing background. So that's something where you need to put effort and try to find a work from that field. Soon we will talk that how we can find that kind of companies. And then we also came into conclusion that unemployment rate is raising really fast, tells that the competition is getting higher and things will get harder. And that's why we need to do a bit more legwork. But the good news is basic nature of people, at least, let's assume, at least for me, people tend to be a bit lazy. And and they pick the activity which feels that you are doing a lot, but it has a lot of easy action. And in this case, we are talking about sending applications around. That if we send 10 applications a day, we apply every open position with the CV we have already created. We have a cover letter, we change a couple of details and maybe a date there. We send it out, we move to the next one. It feels that we are doing a lot, but in the real life, we are actually doing a very minimal effort. And then compared, maybe sending a more targeted CVs and targeted job applications, it might bring better results if we put a bit of legwork there. And that's something we are going to talk next. And actually, we are not. We are going to talk about CVs and cover letters. I checked my list at what I'm going to talk. I have a, I have a tabs open. I'm just zooming it here. Actually, I zoom it out. If you're on the mobile phone, it will look a bit small, but I will zoom quite briefly in. Picking a new screen. And this is something what I do when I have free time. A lot of people are sending me their CVs and cover letters that, hey, can you review this? And I do the review from point of the recruiter or the company who is hiring people. And this one we already went through a couple of weeks ago, but let's go through it again, but the shorter version. Um, First of all, if you want to have that I would review your CV and maybe give you ideas for changes, This is how you do it. You create your CV and cover letter in Canva. Uh, Not everybody likes a Canva, but why would we use Canva? Because check this out. Here we have a share button. I need to pick a different tab. And then you can send a link. You can see that this one is shared with one guy. That you can pick here that I can edit it, or you can give me a separate permission to edit if you provide me a link. Then just copy your link, email it, or send it through. I think you can send messages through a YouTube channel also. Just send me the link and I'll have a look. And what are you going to actually send me? You create a file and there you will add a CV on top and then a cover letter. And that one you're going to share. Here they have a lot of good templates which they use. And good tip is that pick the most simple one. That one will bring the best results. When I was in a recruiting company, we got a lot of different CVs. And I can say that the longest CV I have had was 4 to 6 pages. It was a really fancy, it actually was delivered us by in a printed form on a really shiny paper. But it was so long and it was hard to pick information. And we didn't have anything to offer that person. And when we got the new jobs, it was hard to go to that CV back, and it was a big work to pick information and fill our system. So it came us a bit hard to handle. It looked really good. It was interestingly long, but it didn't provide that information we needed. And how do we need that information? We need it in a very simple form. And let's see the format, what what we can use. Now I'm presuming, okay, everything is working perfectly so far. And first the CV. First of all, we just have a name, our details. If you have a picture, put it there. And don't put the one where you are wearing a suit. uh, Try to put there something uh, related to everyday life, how you are actually. Smile a bit, it gives a good impression. When people are in a dark office, it's nice to see people to smile here and there. You know that Finns don't smile, but it doesn't mean that we don't like looking people when they are smiling. And that one will also stand out a bit. If you have 100 CVs with guys in the suits applying for professional cleaning position, it goes a bit, it crosses a bit that idea that, hey, is this actually a cleaner for us? We want that smiling person in a good physical condition, ready to work, and actually smiles to people around the workplace, maybe talks them a bit. And hey, you made it. Can you get this sample? Yes, you can. Hit me your uh, hit me a message in a WhatsApp. Put your email there. I'll copy it and then I'll send it to you straight away when I close the sharing, so you get the access to this file. Or then I'll create a new file for you. But yeah, you can have this. Just ask it from me and I'll give you a link. I'm wondering, how do I give you a link that it doesn't interfere with everybody? I need to create a file for everybody who wants it. Yeah, let's do that. And let's see what we have here. You asked this also in a WhatsApp. I'm sorry I couldn't answer yesterday. I did work till I wanna say 10 o'clock. Then I had to stop. I watched the movie with my kid. We played a bit, and then this morning I cleaned a bit house, and then I was preparing here. But best way to send messages to work related stuff is actually through a YouTube channel. But yeah, let's see what we have here. We continue a bit. First, name our details. Maybe a picture with a smile gives that positive impression. And then here is a short description what kind of person we are. And I have had a lot of versions. I actually tried it by myself. I asked help from ChatGPT to create me a description and so on. And what we don't want here are, for example, some filler phrases, something what doesn't mean actually anything real. Very commonly there is that I want to be a part of your dynamic team or something else, and I want to develop my skills and develop your company or something like that. Keep this real. That's the best kind of description. Like in this case, I'm sorry, it's in Finnish. I will soon come back why it is in Finnish. But here basically we say that we are dedicated cleaner. We have a service field experience over 10 years, and we have been working with cleaning standards and so on. We have a good skills with communication and customer service. And on top of that, we have IT skills and we can maintain and use machines. So it's a very good description. And we actually tuned it to match for the work we are going to apply because we are applying in this case to be a professional cleaner in a property serving field. So we wanted to bring here the idea that hey, we have a already long history in this field. On top of that, we can uh, we value customer service, and then we can use IT because it's all related to tasks what that company is doing. Okay, we had a short personal description without any filler words. We wanted to keep it simple. And let's put a pin on this. We have a question in the chat. As a student, what is it possible to get the warehouse through we don't have any work experience? Uh, can you describe what kind of warehouse work you are thinking? And then let's try to figure out that what is your dream job you want to land on. And while you are writing it in the chat, I will continue with the CV. And then we have work experience. In Finnish, that would be työkokemus. And we put this one in a chronological order. There was a lot of different work experience listed, but we removed everything what is not related to the field we are applying. And you can also that if you have gaps between the years, in this case it's actually looks really good, but if you have a gaps, you can mention that you have a work experience related to job you are applying for. You also tell that hey, here I provide the valuable information you need, and it also means that hey, I'm actually applying for this task. So here we listed first a cleaning company, and in the original version it was really well made. I loved it, but I need to go on the recruiter side, the company side, and I need to put there what I want to see on it. So we actually put there instead of tasks we were doing because we had there cleaning public spaces, cleaning company spaces, we had bathrooms, toilets, you name it. We did a lot of different works, but we actually picked here the the experience in a bigger topics. And what did we put there? We actually felt that we have a home cleaning experience. It's here, kotisivous. Then when you clean industrial spaces, that's actually a laitosivous. And then we added that industrial spaces in bakery. And then we have doing public spaces, we have shops, and then generally bathroom cleaning and so on, just to tell that we have experience in that kind of environment too. And the main thing that we actually can do them, because not everybody wants to do bathroom cleaning. I don't know why. I have been doing it a long time ago. It's just a work like any another. And what happened here? Uh, here, uh, every one of these places I'm showing are listed in the company property service companies uh, fields they are working. Like they clean people's homes. They also make deals with industrial places that they have a service people doing stuff outside, but they also clean the inside spaces. And same for the shops. That in this example we showed that hey, we have experience to all the fields you are working with, and we can be a good asset there. Then under it, we have a hospital experience that we actually were there managing cleaners. Here we have foreman tasks, we did checkings, and then also we oriented and trained personnel. And under it also uh, supervisor work. And then we have started our career as a cleaner and a guy who service properties. So this would be a perfect match for a property service company. And then when they see this kind of a CV, it will stand out from most of them, because people just send a general list of what they have been doing. It's not customized. And this one would jump to my eyes if I would have a big pile of uh, papers in front of me and I would need to pick that, hey, I need a 10 people for the interview, whom I'm going to pick. This would be definitely on it. And then on the next, we just have a training, we have a certifications, we have a skills listed, and then also the language skills. And should I now talk a bit about the language? I can mention that don't be afraid if your Finnish is not on the level that you can fluently communicate. It doesn't have to be that. I have been working with a lot of people who are still studying the Finnish, and I can say that if a small company finds a person who is a good hard worker and is studying the Finnish in the same time, it really doesn't matter. They are just really happy to have a good people around them. Not always the case. Not every company is a good. We have learned that hard way, but that's the environment we want to aim. That was about briefly the CV. And then back to the chat. That if we want to get the job in a warehouse like a loading or packing, uh, let's think what has happened in a warehouse area for a while. That I can say that maybe it's a really hard task if we want to get the job that we would be just loading stuff in the warehouse. I'll tell you an example how it works in a bakery. I was a while, and that one is automized from that time a lot. It's not same, but basically how it went, we had a bread production. It came through the line, and we in a production we already packed it. We loaded it on the pallets, and then we transported it to the warehouse which was attached to our operation. And from that point, a truck came to the warehouse, and who loaded the truck? Actually the driver very often loaded, or then the one of us who was working in a bakery, we loaded the truck, and then that one was uh, taken out and delivered directly to the uh, shops. And that's also the case. I have a cousin who is a truck driver. He drives a lot of truck. He's always at the work. He's good at what he's doing. And uh, he loads the truck every time he, when he's driving it, and then he also unloads it. Actually, I was lying. I have two cousins driving truck. I forget the one from Kouvola. He drives mostly in Germany. But it's the case there also that he loads the truck and unloads it. But packing, that's the different thing. We have actually companies doing a packing work. And now I need to get my notes. I think I last time also took a note. I'm just writing it here that I don't forget it. When we go through those finder, it's coming soon. I will show you how to find packing companies. Let's hope it goes well. You never know in a live that if I, I don't remember the right search term, then we run into troubles. But there's actually a list where the companies, fields, and codes are listed. We can use those. But now I don't have them open. I'll have them maybe then for a next live. If you are interested, I can also have during the week, just to pick a short time and show things. And because next week I'm planning to be, I think I'm gonna be in the home office. I don't want to go anywhere. I have a lot of paperwork, and I can take their time to go through things with you. But yeah, back to the uh, paperwork. Now we have gone through CV, and now we are in a cover letter. And this is maybe the biggest obstacle, or where people put the least amount of the effort. Hey, I'm again talking from point of the recruiter or the company. I love the effort uh, people puts there, the results they get, but we can still change it a bit and pick the topics from different point, because we always need to think that, hey, how this look by the person who is reading the paper. Let's see, more WhatsApp messages. Okay. Asking for the same paperwork. I will deliver straight after. And let's see. Okay, again a wrong tab. First, this one goes always right. We put our own name there. And then this one is the first part. Very often people leave here. It just reads a cover letter. The one who is reading already knows that, hey, this is a cover letter. We don't need to mention it, but we can put here our position, what we are applying for. And in this case, this example is accountant manager, and then also our own information next to it. And here is an easy trick that when you are applying, that always put a date there, that they get the idea that this is a fresh cover letter. Even if you reuse the old one, just update the date and it gives a nice touch to it. And then the person comes usually here, that whom you are sending it. And here's a really bad term to use in Finland: a hiring manager. You can leave it out. Uh, if we go back to companies, what we have in Finland, like 90% of the companies are less than 10 people. They don't have hiring managers. And then a bit bigger companies, they use this very often staff leasing companies, somebody who does the recruiting for them. And very often we don't even know the name of the person who is going to read it. So this field very often can be just left out, and I'm going to actually delete it. See what happens. The cover letter came cleaner. It's easier to read, and that's what we want to do. And then comes up to the point. Uh, Here we list for what we are applying. If we know name of the person, we will put it here, and then we put our text. This is a bit bad. This is the version from the, what is it, from the samples. There's a better one. We have actually done a couple. I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a moment. I'll see if I can find you a better example. It looks like I copied the wrong file there. Now I need to go to my projects. I have some amount here, and if I can find the example we used last time, that would be a great. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna look for it. It's hidden somewhere. But basically, there's a better version, and it was gone through on some Friday. But I could actually create a sample CV. I can share that link, and then I can add there the key points, a bit ideas that hey, what I can put in this field, because sometimes when people send me a cover letter, it's this big solid piece of text, basically telling the same things what you have in a CV, but the cover letter is actually your tool to communicate directly with the person who is doing the decision for the recruiting or decision that who are coming to interview. That's your chance to have that conversation. And what we usually put there that we start with a very small introduction why we would be good for that task. Then we can list there a couple of words about for our work experience, that what we actually did and would fit for the job. You notice in CV we had the main topics of our work, and then in a cover letter we have it opened up more. So when they read a CV first, the cover letter will actually complement the CV. And then when we have told them why are we good fit there, what kind of person we have, and then in the end we always have a call to action. For example, we tell them that we would love to know more about the job, that just to make sure that we are a good fit, or we can also tell that we are ready to take a shorter work hours if there's a part-time job or something. It depends on the case what you can write, but try to get there something what makes them to answer to you. And easiest way is to ask extra information, because that's their job. They need to tell about the job enough that uh, people can give them best description why they would be a good fit. And then we have a next topic coming, but a couple of words what happens next when we have sent an application. And many people have noticed they send the papers out, nothing happens. Not in weeks, months, it's dead silence after the moment you have sent papers. But good habit is that if you send the paper out and you can wait a bit less than a week. Don't wait too long, but you can't neither send it next day. Give them 3 4 days, maybe 5 days, and then contact them again and ask that, hey, did you get my CV, and how did it look? And then again ask something about the job. And when they answer to you, you will of course thank for it and say that yeah, we have a good experience, this fits to our field, and then try to get that interview. And let's have one example. Now I don't remember, was it Barona, what was the recruiting company, but anyway, it doesn't matter. uh, we had a guy in a safety training who sent couple of hundred uh, letters, no results, and then we checked CV and letters he was sending out, and we tuned them just a bit. He did already a great job, but we customized it to fit for that task a bit better. And then uh, we sent them out. Nothing happened, but we already had a plan. We had a task listed in an Excel or Google Sheets, whatever you are using, that hey, I have applied to this place, this time, and then we mark that if we don't hear anything in 5 days, we will contact them again. And so we did. We sent them a message and asked more details about the work. We told that, hey, we applied for the task, but you know what? We would like to know just a bit more to see that do we have a proper experience, that we would be a good fit. And what happened? He was actually asked for the interview. Interview lasted hour and a half, and because the lady on that side was telling a lot about the client, about the work there would be, and everything looked really good. That story, unluckily, didn't end for the job because the company decided not to recruit people. But anyway, that person got a very good impression to recruiter side and will stay on their list. And if the client decides to recruit actually people that they get that demand back, then he will be first on the list. But that's enough of a CVs and those. And if you are applying for the works, you send CVs out, you can always send me a message that, hey, wanna watch this through? Is there something I can do differently? And usually when people send me a request, yeah, I'll have a big list of questions that you need to answer. Just that I get a good picture and then we can work together. But still need to remember this is not my main job. I don't ask money for it. I will never ask. It's just something I do for fun. So it goes by the situation how much work I have. But usually I have every week I have time to go through things. Uh, then what I have here, I'll share this one because now we prepared the cover letter. We will have a finder thing coming after this, so let's wait just a bit more with the packing and loading. I'll fetch us a new tab, and then many people have noticed different job portals where to apply. We use Jobly, where there's a Glassdoor. Let's see a small list what we have, and I will tell a bit about competition in those, and then uh, yeah, a couple of things just to know what to expect. Uh, if people are clients of the TE office, that's actually outdated information. We don't have TE offices anymore. Those services went to the cities. It's a one big pile of mess at this moment. Hopefully it clears. But anyway, there is a governmental portal where open jobs are listed. And and there is a lot of them. But it's also the place where the competition is hardest. Like when the company lists here, they get easily tens, even hundreds of applications, and they give a great load on a company. And what kind of applications do they get? In the beginning, I took that unemployment chart in purpose that we saw the amount, and I'll go just a bit back. I'll tell you numbers that it says that we have 190,000 men looking for a work, and then on top of that 130 plus thousand women looking for a work. That together makes 300 something thousand. There was just the fresh numbers. It was way over 300,000 people are looking for a work at this point. But then again, not every person in Finland wants to get a job. I'm wondering why is that, but they have a certain lifestyle that they are happy for that situation they have, and they don't want to change it. But when they are client of unemployment office, they have a couple of duties, and one of them is to send applications. It's some certain amount of the applications every month they need to send out. I don't remember what that number it is, but it is some. And uh, jobs are listed in a T office portal or governmental portal, and they apply to those jobs also because they need to fulfill their duties that their unemployment payments would be going on. And when company lists this applications on this site, they get also a lot of trash applications which are not even meant that hey, I need a job. That also happened a lot when I was working in a recruiting company because we also published applications in open portals and governmental portals because we wanted to get a lot of applications in. We wanted to get the database of people and their skills, but we hit very often an application which didn't uh, even apply for that work. And the best example I remember, or the worst one, was when some guy sent a message that, hey, I'm a middle-aged man with the alcohol problem. I'm just applying to fulfill my monthly amount of applications. And that one took our valuable time. There's a lot of good real places open, but there's a lot of background noise. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use that. You should always check that, hey, do we have a places here open? Because there you can see what kind of companies are looking for the work. And then you can send an application through that system, but you can also contact that company directly. Just try to get a manager there and say that, hey, I noticed you have a position open. Can you tell more about your company? Can I come and visit? Just to get a better picture and maybe have an interview. That's how I would use it. Then on the list, let's go a bit lower. We have Duunitori. Uh, this one gets better already. There is a lot of jobs listed, not as many than in a previous portal, but here a lot of companies are paying for that service. So the work is actually real and it's a more targeted. And these are lot of more professional works they are looking for. Many staff leasing companies are using this site, but I will soon come. After we got the list, I will tell why it's also a bad thing, what's happening there. So Donitor is fine. Oikotie, it's a good one. Again, companies spend money to look people here. Kuntarekry, this is for governmental works or city works, but here 99% of the cases they require fluent Finnish. So it's just here the reminder that hey, we have this kind of portal. If you are good in Finnish, you can use it. And then we have a job directories in English, like job portal. Uh, LinkedIn has a good lists. There's a work in Finland page. Glassdoor, that one I like. I hang there a lot. Also, a lot of recruiters hangs in the Glassdoor. There's a nice community and people actually talking about different topics. That if you have a time, sign up to a job portal, check in the community what's happening, and what kind of companies are using English sites. Uh, those previous ones, which one we checked, they are mostly Finnish companies, the traditional small companies we have in Finland. They just have a need for the workers, so they publish this announcement there. And then English speaking companies are using these international portals more, or Finnish companies which are looking some specific profession, like for the management or supervisors, and there actually the work application is in English. That we have a lot of companies whose main language is English, that even when they operate here, but the language in the company is English. So it would be a good fit for us. And like let's take for example Glassdoor and what we noticed last year. Pick one example. I had a company named Strawberry. They actually owns the hotel chain, for example, Clarion. It's a really nice, fancy and shiny hotel. And they built a new hotel next to Helsinki-Vantaa airport. Uh, they trained a bit people through me. So the name stayed in my mind. And then I noticed that their job applications popped out in a Glassdoor and Jobly portals, not on the Finnish ones. And they were looking English-speaking people for their hotel works. So it's a definitely good place to keep eyes open. And then also, if you have uh, some specific city, you can write into Google just like a jobs in Helsinki, and it will list. And this one you can use even more targeted area, that you can put there that, for example, terms like open hakemus, pick a field, and the city. We will try that one soon. I will put it here on my list. I open the tab, and I will show you that how you can use Google to do the big legwork for you. Because I'm big fan of getting a lot of things done with the minimum amount of the effort. And then I can put that effort somewhere else or for the tasks. It will bring a better results. And a couple of another portals. And how I would use these portals, because you can see we have a crazy amount of, and they all are not listed here, that if you go through every page daily, that's all your work you can do during that day. So the better version is to uh, sign up to the portal, create a profile, put there the field you are looking for, and then those open positions are delivered to your email. And then you don't need to spend the time and look what's new today. It will make your life easier, and you get a lot of more done. It's just a way how I would use it. But then a couple of words about what kind of applications we have listed here. Oh my God, time is flying. It's already a 2:30. Well, luckily we still have a half an hour time. Uh, there are different. I'm gonna simplify again. There are different kind of applications or positions open. First of all, is the actual job that they are looking for a person to fill that position. Then there is a so-called ghost job. Just saw an article. There were recruiters talking and writing statistics. These kind of jobs are at the moment raising trend, a lot of them. Ghost job is a job where company lists an open position. You can see that it's not really for a very specific position, that it's a bit rounded description, and the salary can be from, for example, from 50,000 to 90,000 euros. So it's a really long scale. And and companies are just listing these to collect people's information, to grow their database, that if there comes a need, they have actually a list of people they can already already use, or they can contact them and ask that, hey, are you available? And staff leasing companies uses this tactic a lot. It was also the reason why I left that field. I didn't like it. I had a lot of time talks, many times talks with people who said that, hey, you have a place open here. I have worked for you. That I'm currently unemployed. Can't you hire me? And then the instructions from the higher management was that, hey, go around the idea. Don't tell that the client that there is no client. That maybe say them that the work is coming at some point. The client haven't made a decision yet, but if it does, you are high on our list. And that totally killed me from inside. I didn't want to do it anymore, and packed my stuff and left. And then also the companies who tries to keep the front looking good, that hey, we are doing really well, we are still looking for people, business is blooming, when vice versa everything is just downgrading, but they need to keep that look for some reason. And then we have the worst kind, and these are the fake jobs, and there's a lot of them. Those usually can be seen and recognized, that it's some Very easy task. It pays a lot of money, and very often you can work from your home. They just want to have a wider audience that, hey, apply here, and you can work from your home and you make an easy 5K a month. Sounds like a dream. One guy actually sent me a WhatsApp message some time ago and asked that, hey, I applied for this. Sounds very good, but what is the case? They want to get my copy of a driving license, passport, or some another document, and then they will get me into interview. But that job was just listed that they would get those information from people. They are collecting database of IDs which will be sold to people who have some not so legal use for them. So basically stealing the identities and and all another personal information. But that's enough of the job types. But now we got a good idea what kind of portals we have and where to use. It's a good source for open jobs. But what can we do besides uh, besides using a portals? We can also contact directly to companies. And let's share again a new tab. Now I'm picking it from here. And I bet some people are already tired seeing this this page, but there's always new people around, so I'm gonna show it. And this one was my secret weapon when I was going through companies. It's a free to use, doesn't require any money, and it provides a crazy value for you in a very compact form. And now we had a question in a chat that what about loading and packing? Uh, Now this one goes a bit guessing that we found will find right term, because how you can use this list and directory, you can put a field or yeah, you can put the field you're looking for, like construction, cleaning, even more specific like painting, and then you can put the area you are interested. Let's try a very common term. This is a bit like shooting with a shotgun. We put there pakkaus, which would mean packing, and it already gives a bit suggestions. But let's see what happens here. How many companies we will find? Okay, getting there. We got almost 600 companies. Actually, 404 companies and 151 persons. And now we have which city we are looking for. You asked about loading and packing. Which city we would be interested? Let's put Pori. I should remember this, but but let's use Pori. And what kind of information this page provides us, and how we can use it? Because now we want to get a job, so we need to look for company which actually has a bit turnover, maybe some people hired, and then we can also have a look of the how they are doing economically, that is their business shrinking or are they actually growing? All that information is provided on this page. Okay, now we are looking packing. We are located in Pori, and here's one very big one first on the list. Let's click it open, and it says that packing is their field. We don't know yet what kind of company it is. But let's see the economical. They have 60 million, almost 60 million euro turnover. It's quite steady. So actually good things might happen in this company. It would be a good candidate for us. So now we have found a packing company in Pori. We yet don't know, are they producing packing material or are they packing for somebody else? But more information we can get when we go to their website. And I put it here. I'll share you a screen. What kind of company we got. So these are actually producing materials and packing. But again, they have a lot of production, so maybe there is a warehouse work inside of the company. So it's a good candidate to contact the company itself. And the good news is that web page is only in English or German. So most likely the company's inner language is also English and of course German. I bet this is a German company. But let's go back to our Finder page and see what else we have there. Yeah, we had a big company creating packing material. We have a Krana. This is actually for a printing. Maybe I wouldn't apply there. Brand idea. Then again, one big company. I think this one was producing material. But anyway, with this way, you can get valuable information, and you can notice that it also lists people. And here we can see that who is in charge for major positions in different companies. Like this is the company we have at first, and here we have a talouspäällikkö listed. But yeah, a lot of good information. And let's say that if we want to get, for example, property service field, that's the one which always has a lot of work available. Then we put there, and for example, Vantaa, if we are in Helsinki area. And then it list gives us 105 companies to apply and find information how they are doing that. Are they a small company? This one is 1 to 2 million, so it has a nice turnover and so on. But yeah, I use this one a lot. You can find companies and then contact directly to them. But then I have a tab open here. I'll yeah, I will show you one more trick because I like using a search. And then yeah, here it came right one. That here's a good term to look for places is that put, for example, avoin hakemus. You can try also in English, open application. And then we have a field, which was kiinteistöhuolto, and then we have an area, and now we are in Helsinki. And Google will find you every page where open application, which is avoin hakemus, is mentioned. And then you have easy links to go and fill the application and actually find the companies who are accepting them. And then you can after that contact the company and ask that, hey, did you get my application? Can you tell more about you and what kind of work you have available? Like we just scroll down, we can see that, okay, Duunitori, that was that portal. It has also open applications. Then we have Oikotie, also mentioned earlier. You can see that they are very relevant portals. So open applications available and so on. Just go down. Kotikato, a big company in Helsinki. I have talked with the service people there when I was doing construction works in Helsinki. Really nice people. Companies growing nicely. At least it was several years ago. Core is a very big service provider. Jobly also listed here, but this is more It's not for open, it's for some specific places. And it just keeps going. Let's see what's happening in the Google page number 2. Usually everything goes to die there. But here also, Latutaku has even paid an ad to have an open application. Palmia has paid, ESS, open places listed. All very relevant and good companies. So use this. A lot of different tricks. Because again, when I talk with people, they usually go only through open applications and then they try to follow news that what happens. But it gives you only so small portion what's available. When with couple of different techniques, you can actually fetch information for almost everything what's happening around. And let's have a small recap before we move to last topic of the day, what I wanted to tell yesterday, but we didn't have time for all of them. Uh, First, we went through. Now I need to take my sheet. uh, we went through job portals. Yes, sign up, create a profile, order those announcements to your email. Then we went through the system how to look for companies from page called finder.fi. There we put a field, an area, and it will list all the companies. And we can also see the economical situation, how well they are doing. So we can make our decision that is it worth of the trouble to contact them, because we should always put effort and not just send a random letter out. Then if we are interested, for example, the property service field, then we can use Google, that we just write avoin hakemus, then the field, which was kiinteistöhuolto, and then the area. And then we will find every web page which where is the company operating on that field, and they actually want to get open applications. Just to have a list of people if there comes something available. And you can take that even further, that when you have sent that open application, then contact them and ask about the job. And I have noticed, now I will tell, which is a bit related to our next topic. And this worked like crazy well. There are portals where private people can list renovation jobs that, hey, I need some certain service like asbestos removal, building a bathroom, and so on. And there you can leave a straight offer. Just write the offer, how much it would cost based on your description. But if I always called them, I asked about what are you actually doing? Is there something I should know? Is there some specific uh, things you need to do? And then I also explain the work in a better details, like if you need to do waterproofing, that what kind of materials to use, how to do the foundation well, and so on. And that one got us a very big success rate with our offers. And sometimes we also send just an offer, especially if my friend filled the paper because we worked together, then it didn't bring that great result. The job went for somebody else. And then we go back to our last topic. I'll open one guide. I'll actually paste this one in a chat because this one had a lot of good information. Oh, that link came ugly. But you can click it. But now I'll show it you from the screen. We're not going to read it, but I'll show that we just have it. Yeah, this is a guide for self-employment in Finland. And uh, this idea goes back to 90s in Finland. So really long time ago, plus 30 years. And we were in the same situation. Everything crashed around us, way worse than now. And a lot of people were unemployed. They were looking for jobs and they couldn't get one. Times were really dark. But then when I compare for a couple of years ago when I was cooperating with a lot of construction companies, those were actually started around 90s when they worked for a construction company and they got fired. There was no work around. At least there wasn't enough work. And they couldn't get a new place from any other company. So what did they do? They didn't stay at home. They started to work for themselves. At that point, you had to create a company or you had to create that self-employed that you register yourself. Things are now way easier, and that's we are going to look. So if it feels that you have a rock solid skills, you have a good experience, and there are no results from looking for a work, why not to work for yourself? Find those uh, clients, do a little work, start growing from there. Don't invest crazy amount of money because some people ask that, hey, what's the easiest way to get a loan in Finland that we would like to start a business? But that puts a lot of pressure. There are a lot of professions you can start with minimal investment. There are even books that how books about the easy side gigs which doesn't require any capital. Just spend a bit time that what could I do? Is there something what would work for the Finnish environment? I have done over the time a lot of side gigs from fixing the computers, doing a small renovations, or then just offering a general service that, hey, if you need help at home, I have a very reasonable price and and you can hire me. And then you will get a bill from my work. So it doesn't bring those employer responsibilities for private people. And also companies uses this system. But here why I posted this guide, this is from ukko.fi, but it has a lot of good information. I read it through and it answers a lot of questions what people have been asking from me. So it's a good package of environment. Of course, it advertises the ukko.fi, but you don't have to use that service. So let's jump to our final slide because soon I need to be in a different, not in a stream, but in a Google Meet. Um, I'm gonna tell you now what kind of options we have here to work. First of all, you can work for a company or you can create a company for yourself. It brings a lot of responsibilities. Maybe it's not a good option if we just want to try things. Then we can work for be self-employed. It's a bit lighter version, but still has a lot of responsibilities. And if you decide to stop it, it's also some amount of work. And of course, the bookkeeping side creates some amount of the work. But then one very nice thing has happened in recent years, and I'm a big fan of this. I use it also a lot because I do many things. I can find clients, so uh, but I don't wanna run a company. I have a lot of work and things to do with family. I don't have that much free time, so I want to keep things very simple. So I use billing services, and I picked a reasonably priced. But let's first talk how billing service works in Finland. Uh, Basically, it means you find a client and you agree about the work with them, and then you do your work, and then it's time to bill the client. You can't bill by yourself if you don't want to get employer responsibilities for that client, but you can use a billing service. Basically, it means that you create a bill in that service, you approve it, the service will check it briefly through and send it to a client. A client will pay the bill, the billing service, and then billing service will take the taxes away from that bill, from that money, their service fee, and rest of the money they're going to pay you as a salary. And it requires zero paperwork from your side. And then you can use billing services as you wish. You don't need to make a deal with them. If you decide not to use them, then you just stop using it. Nothing else is required. And they don't have running fees that they don't charge you, for example, 10, 20 euros a month. That's not the case. If they do, it's not the right place for you. But and then the best part with the billing service is also that you get the insurance with you. That if something happens at work, there is a backup that if you damage the client's property, you break something, there is an insurance which will pay for the damage. Of course, there's a small amount of the money you need to put in that it doesn't cover it 100%. And then also if something happens to you, you are also covered that you get that medical help. So a lot of good things from the billing service, and it's not that pricey. Let's see their fees very quickly, what we can expect. First we have Ukko. Basically, this is a bit cheating. Here they have 5% and then on top of it for the insurance 3%. So this one comes to 8% in total. And I find this way too expensive. Even when their service is top notch, they do a lot of good things, but 8% from your salary is actually too much. It's not worth of it. Then we have Easy Under. It comes to 7%. Their service also very good, but I find it again too expensive. And then we have like Omapaya goes to 7%. Uh, this one I use a lot. I don't get money for mentioning it, but here the customer service is really good. They answer in the chat quite quickly. I have tried most of the services here out of curiosity. How do they work? They all have worked as promised, but then it comes to customer service that if you need to change a bill, you have a question, you need to cancel something. In some services, it took over a week from them to answer. In Forworks, it has been, if not in 5 minutes, then inside of a 15 minutes always. It works like a nice. And here it says 3.6%. It also includes insurance, but more you use this service, the fee will actually go to, I think it was still 2%. So there's a lot of benefits to stay in this. And then we have a cheaper, we have a 2.9. This one used to be 2%, but it doesn't include any insurances and they don't handle uh, travel fees, which would be tax-free and so on. And then there's one more trick also when it comes to building the work. This could be a separate topic for a separate day completely. That if you have a work which doesn't have any responsibilities and you can't make damage, for example, you agree to build a website or something else, and you have agreed for let's give round numbers for 1,000 euros in Forworks. If you sign up there, you will pay 36 euros for that bill, that they will handle it, pay the taxes and pay your salary. But we didn't have responsibilities, we don't need that insurance. So we can take, for example, keikkalasku, and that would be only 10 euros per bill. So we save 26 euros. It feels that it's not that crazy big money saving, but if you decide to pick this your way of working, that you want to be a freelancer and do a lot of work for different clients, it definitely will add up and the difference will be big. in a year. But yeah, and then here are a lot of different places. I will actually copy this one if you're interested and paste it in the chat. And now we have actually used our time. We wasted like a half an hour for the technical issues, but we got over. Audio is working, everything is going fine. Uh, do you have any questions at this point? Because I really soon need to open a new Google Meet and move over that side. Did you have valuable information? What would you like to know more? We have 6 people in. Do you have any questions? I can take a couple of very quick ones. Or would you like to have a new stream at some point? Because next week we have a Friday stream, but when I'm checking my schedule, I think I will be doing on Wednesday those cover letters and CVs. If people send them me, I will go through them and I will actually have, I can do it in live, but it will be anonymized. I can't show any personal information in, and I don't want to show in YouTube. But there, I could edit in a live, and then I could explain same time from a company point that, hey, does it look for the company, and how would we change it the way that it would stand out there, that it would be really made for that job. I'll also write in the chat. Yeah, there, now it came from my to the chat. Did you have a good time? It was a long time, even with technical problems. We spent hour and 32 minutes on this side. But okay then, if no more questions, we will end. I will go to Google Meet session, and then we will see most likely Wednesday. Let's try to make it happen. That I have enough CVs. I will send a couple of emails that if they want to do it, this is the way how it gets done. But hey, thank you. We had actually a nice amount of people here, and I hope that I provided some new and valuable information. But from now, see you next time.